I built this Gothic themed workshop starter base in ARK Survival Ascended on the brand new Lost Colony map, and as you can see I decided to build it right in the middle of the city. Well, actually technically on the outer edge of the city, because there's some regions of the outer edges that are a little bit more broken down. There's not actually patrols on the streets, so I think you might be good to build here. I don't know, I just really like the aesthetic, and this little starter base of course offers the basic needs that you might want in an early game base. So it has a decent amount of space on the inside. It has a little workshop on the outside where you can do some smelting and some basic crafting, and on the inside there's more room for storage for more of your crafting stations. There's even a little greenhouse at the back, and of course you have some cozy quarters at the upstairs areas too for your little bedroom, and of course, very importantly, for your new pet beds. Hello there survivors, and welcome back to another video here in ARK, and this is my first build here on Lost Colony using the brand new Lost Colony structures that we got with this new map release. And fortunately they just put out an update that actually makes sure that everything inside of your builds, I think as long as it's covered by a roof, will not have snow on it anymore. So no more snowy interiors, but still the cool snowy effect on your roofs, which is really nice. I'm actually very excited that they managed to patch that this quickly. It works pretty well in my experience. So far only seen some snow still on like Frontier skin. I don't know if that's just a oversight, maybe that will get fixed as well, but in any case it does make it a lot more exciting for builds here on Lost Colony. And yeah, let's jump into this first little starter base that I did. As always, if you enjoy these build videos and you want to continue to see more, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. And of course, feel free to leave your suggestions for builds you'd like to see here on Lost Colony, or any other map actually, but mostly in Lost Colony at the moment of course, right down in the comments too. So here we are at the little starter base. As you can see, we're right next to the main city. That's where you teleport up, and that's where actually all the chaos begins. So we are on the outskirts where things are a little bit more broken down. There isn't really any patrols here normally, and I found this little spot between two like broken down buildings, which I thought was pretty cool. So it is located right over here on the map, pretty much the dead center of the map. And yeah, I thought it would be quite cool to have your base. Like you can see, there's a few of these spots between all the ruins of the existing buildings that actually make for some really cool builds. And I mean, in theory, you could even, I guess, do some rebuilding of certain buildings, perhaps. I think that you might be able to do that. Again, I really wish we got some of these structures as skins too, because those windows and everything look really cool. I actually have figured out a way to still get some stained glass. I'll show that in the next video. But for now, let's take a look at this little starter base that I worked on. So it is basically a workshop starter base. So as you can see over here on the side, we have a little work area here. So I've got my little table with the Lost Colony skin, the mortar and pestles on there. We've got plenty of forges here to do our smelting. For some reason these are not powered. They really should be. There we go. We have a power again. Yeah, so this is the little workshop area. We have the smithy, we have some forges, a little fireplace for the cozy warm vibes, and a little bit of storage here too, using those Lost Colony structure skins, which they are quite nice. It does get a little bit busy for bigger walls. That is definitely my main concern whilst building with these, that they do get quite busy. But in all, I think I've managed to do a pretty nice job to get a cozy building. We have a little window here. We also have these wall variants, which makes it looks like there's windows there, even though there's not actually a window. And then we have this little front porch here with a door to get into the building. So yeah, there's actually two doors on this little section, and then a main door here over to the side. And then around the sides here we can see there's some layers to the building. So we have this side building, then we have the main building, and of course a little workplace. But we actually also have a little greenhouse connected to the back of the building, which, I mean, it's a little nestled in here, of course, because of the city. And I actually also managed to have a little door here at the side. This is actually a gate, so you could bring in tames again, because where I built this, it's a little narrow here. But normally, if you build it somewhere else, that does mean that you can bring in your early game tames to keep them safe inside of your base, which, you know, that can be quite helpful, of course, early on. Then if we go inside, we will see we have an Anki here, we have a little doorward, we have some crafting and a little bit of a kitchen going on. For some reason, this tree has come back, but it's not actually there. I don't know. That's, I guess, just early game problems. We have a little bit of storage with the really cool new vault skin that we got with this pack. Definitely looks very, very cool indeed. And then I've got a bunch of the pet beds, as you can see. So a different bunch of pets all on display here, which is definitely a really cool way to bring some more life and, you know, character to your builds, and also have a nice place for these small tames that you can't always all bring on your adventures. We've got a little bit of cryos going on here too. Again, plenty of storage all around us. And then over here we have the greenhouse. So back here, actually fully effective greenhouse. We can grow some crops back here. Yeah, that we can then utilize on our adventures. And then of course we also have the upstairs area. So first of all, we have this little room to the side, and this is where you can see the frontier skin for some reason still gets some snow effect on top of it. Hopefully that will be fixed soon too. But yeah, we have a cozy room here with a fireplace. Again, more pet beds because they are absolutely amazing. And of course you also have the companion bed for your well, most likely your Vilwyn companion. But yeah, like a nice little cozy room. Of course you could utilize this in many different ways on your own playthrough. And then if we continue going all the way up, we actually have another room. Again, very cozy vibes going on in here with the pets. I really like these as decorative pieces. We have a bit of a sofa. We have plenty more storage up here, and then I used the Castlecraft deco for this really cool bed, which I think fits the vibes quite nicely. And then we have even more pets along the wall here, kind of just, you know, to get some decoration going. I think this is going to be a really fun way to both decorate your walls on the inside of your builds, but also just to bring a lot of life and character to the place. And then we have a library here, so it's a pretty nice compact starter base, but also it offers a decent amount of space, I think, to make it quite useful as a base in a whole. I think it is quite useful. There is a decent amount of space inside. You can bring your tames inside, at least, you know, the early game ones. And yeah, I think it looks quite fun as well. It works decently well with the new skins. Again, they do get a little bit busy, but I found if you change the variant where both sides are the same, that works better in my opinion. And then you can have these as some kind of fake windows, which works quite well. Again, I wish this red part would have been actual stained glass. That would have been epic. That would have been an amazing skin if we had a glass skin just with a frontier skin. I think that's still the best example of a really good set they've done that gives you a lot of opportunities and abilities. And yeah, don't get me started again on the potential of having these kind of walls like they have in the city. That would have been absolutely brilliant, but I still think we have a very nice and cozy little starter base here. I will be making a tutorial for this very, very soon, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that. And again, if you've got any suggestions for builds you would like to see me do here on Lost Colony, let me know down in the comments below. And for now, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the build, and I hope to see you again in the next video or the next stream. For now, goodbye.